I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this too. I know that when I bring stuff up like this, I know what the sound bites go to, and I know what people say, because I go, the elephant in the room is that these guys are old and they use steroids, and I use that as a blanket term. But when Wagner and I had a conversation, he's extremely transparent. He's like, look, I work with my doctor very closely. My doctor recommends testosterone replacement therapy. I'm 43. I take it. I adhere to his dosage. I do what he says to do. And I work out. He's like, look at me. I don't look like I'm cut from stone. I'm not a bodybuilder. This isn't, I'm not juicing up so I can get on stage at IBF Pro bodybuilding competition. I'm just trying to stay active and live here. On top of that, ADCC is not a regulated event. They don't use USADA testing. So you can kind of assume that every athlete's going to take whatever advantage they can to the best of their ability. Some people are going to claim that they don't, right? And that they're 100% clean. We will honestly never know unless there's a governing body that's testing this kind of stuff. What are your thoughts, knowing what you know about supplementation, your history in the marketing of supplementation, working in that business before, having friends that are in their 40s that are still top competitors? What are your thoughts on that, on steroid use, supplementation, and how it plays into jiu-jitsu? Should we care about this at all?
I'll tell you what, I respect a lot whoever, I mean, it's just, for me, it's so, I don't even know where to start, because where to begin, because it's, for me, it's so simple. Like, you're a professional athlete. You have to do everything that you can to perform the best way possible, period. But Victor, if the competition doesn't allow you to use certain substances, then you don't use it. You shouldn't use it, because otherwise you're going to get caught. Like it happened to Cyborg, it happened to Wagner, even though Wagner wasn't tested at all. Right. But he was open about it, as you said. So I don't, how can I judge? It's like judging the guy. Okay, I'm not dating anyone now because I'm focused on the tournament. I want to accumulate the most as much energy as possible. So I'm not dating anyone. I'm not drinking. I'm sleeping at 7 p.m. and all that stuff. So taking whatever they want to. Oh, but these are forbidden substances, the prohibited substances. No, they're not. As you said, ADCC doesn't regulate. Who's number one? UFC Fight Pass. All these professional events. They don't care. Actually, I don't know if you remember the Pride days back in the day.
Yeah.
They would encourage you.
Look at Wanderlei. Look at Wanderlei Silva. Just look at him.
Hey, they would encourage you. They will put on a contract. We do not test for steroids. Meaning, you take whatever you want. We're going to love to see you huge and strong. Oh, but this can kill you. No, it cannot. No, it cannot. It won't kill you if you do it the right way, like Wagner said. Like Cyborg does, like I do. I take my testosterone. I'm not, and the TRT thing is so hypocritical. I hate to say that. People ask me, oh, so you do TRT? No, I take testosterone. Why do you have to use the term TRT? Like,
I think it's just what people know. I think a lot of times people don't actually know what they're saying. They just say what they heard.
I'll tell you what, man, it's the way people, it's the way people want to say they're doing a thing that is like, okay, my doctors, I take testosterone to the levels that I need to be at, and that's it. I don't sugarcoat it, saying that, oh, I do TRT because it's like I'm under a treatment. And no, I was under a treatment I started taking steroids in 2020 when I was 44. My testosterone levels were 270 something when I went to the doctor, and he said, man, you don't look good. And it's not only your testosterone, your luteinizing hormones, your everything was wrong. Estrogen, everything was wrong. Everything there was to be wrong was wrong. So for 1 year, he started giving me a lot of stuff that I was getting in, like, so I became a different human being after 1 year. And then he started cutting. Okay, so you don't need the growth hormones anymore. You don't need the estrogen anymore. You don't need this. You don't need that. And now all I take is testosterone. And there's another thing that I have to take in order to not allow it to. I forgot the name of it. It's Danazol. So there's two things that I take, and I'm completely balanced. I do my blood work every quarter. Every quarter, I do my blood work, and I see everything. And it's been steady. Like my testosterone is at 860, 845 every test. So I'm optimized.
Dude, 200 is like...
I was 270 something. And for 1 year, I'll tell you what, Abe, for 1 year, when I started taking, for 1 year, I didn't feel any difference. My numbers were getting better, but my body wasn't recognizing those levels. So I wasn't operating in my full capacity, even with the numbers up there. It took a year or so to get to the level where, okay, now my body understands that everything is coordinated. It's like an orchestra. The numbers are all in place, so you can push your limits a little further. And then I started doing that, and my body started responding. And that felt amazing. But if I show you a picture of 2019 and a picture now, you are not going to see a lot of difference.
Right.
I've always been shredded. I've always been strong. I've always been healthy, but my levels were terrible. So with low testosterone, with crazy numbers of other hormones, you are more susceptible for getting sick, for like your immune system is depressed. Everything is bad. And now, man, I don't get sick. I don't freaking get sick. My body is and I'm 48. You know, I just fought at ADCC trials in Brazil.
How did it go?
With the kids. I mean, I lost like two years ago. I fought and I got third. So I was the oldest ever to get a medal in ADCC trials. This time I got a very strong stud, and I end up losing by decision. He was 27, 28 years old, 230 pounds, super strong. But we ended up even, and they gave the decision to him, which I don't complain. I think it was like he was a bit better, and I just couldn't do it. So, but I felt great at 48. His father was younger than me.
Well, you bring up a really important part, and I always try to drive this point home whenever people are listening, is that whether you should or should not take anything, it comes down to your individual blood work. Like you have to have a relationship with a doctor, and you need to be doing your blood work.
1,000%.
I had an athlete at our academy the other day go, "Hey, Abe, my testosterone levels are blank. Should I be taking steroids?" And I said, "Look, I may know a ton." Or not, he said, "Should I be taking testosterone?" And I said, "I may know a lot about strength and conditioning, and I may know a lot about how to prepare your body for sport and how to supplement properly to do that, but I am absolutely not a doctor." That's a question that you need to go have a conversation with a doctor about. Do your blood work, find out where your levels are at, and then make decisions based on that. And I think that that's an important part to consider, and it's good to hear that when you make these choices at 48 years old, right? When we age, our bodies change. We can't put up the same intensity that we could when we were 20. That's just fact. As much as we would love to think that's not true because we've dedicated a lifetime to being active and healthy and eating good foods and training hard, it's just not the way it is. And you got to make those decisions with a professional because they know.